Time for SMX Facts. As mentioned, Clinton Fowler, our statistician here, is going to talk about the SMX seeding. Cooper Webb wins Supercross title. Chase Sexton goes out. He's banged up now, not racing Pro Motocross, at least for the next couple weeks. So it seemed like a shoe-in. And then, JT, I think it might have been you last week that started to say, hey, wait a minute. Let's look at Justin Cooper, Aaron Plessinger. They're on the rise. So, Clinton, what does the data say here for SMX seeding?
Well, as it's currently going, Weege, it looks like Cooper Webb is going to lose the handle of the SMX seeding points on current pace. And it's likely to be with 2 rounds to go in this championship. And Aaron Plessinger should jump over Justin Cooper and Cooper Webb. This assumes that Cooper Webb continues to finish about a 6th per moto, Justin Cooper a 4th per moto, and Aaron Plessinger 3rd. So there's a lot at play here. And maybe most important, Weege, at the end of the year, we're looking at these guys being separated by just 7 points. So just the smallest of errors has the potential to drastically change the standings. JT, when we look at past years, we know these seeding points are super important. In 2023, Hayden Deegan ultimately won that 250 World Championship title by just 5 points. Last year, Jet Lawrence tied his brother Hunter Lawrence for the title and took the victory based off of wins. These things are going to matter down the road, JT.
It does matter. And, I think the perspective on it might be a little different for each rider, because I think Cooper Webb's looking at this like, I want to be SMX World Champion. And for me to have the best chance to do that, I need to go in with the top seed so I have a little bit of a cushion. I don't know necessarily, maybe it's not fair, but I don't know necessarily if that's the same for Justin Cooper or AP. I don't know if they're like, I'm going to be SMX World Champion. Maybe they are, but for them, I think about the financial incentive difference for them if they end up 3rd in the championship or 5th or 2nd, right? You're talking about 6 figures, hundreds of thousands of dollars of difference for them if they're a couple spots ahead of where they would have been otherwise. So I'm sure, knowing Cooper Webb and how insightful he is, he doesn't miss much. He knows this is happening. He knows those guys are closing in fast. So if it gets close down the stretch, it's going to be really interesting. You think about rounds like Budds Creek, these guys are going to be going for it. And maybe Jet Lawrence is out front. Maybe he's battling Tomac for the win. But the battle for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 could be all time to get that number 1 seed.
What I'm looking forward to is we're 6 motos in, and Clinton, you're making projections based on their averages. I'm looking forward to one rider having one bad moto and then seeing all your data just completely end up on the cutting room floor. I'm looking forward to that. You said the word assumption. Be careful, right?
You do have to be careful. There are assumptions here, and it is tight enough. We are coming down to the last few rounds where points, minor amounts of points and positions are going to make a difference. So something to pay attention to. And we take, for example, Jet Lawrence. He's currently 9th in the standings. I've got him projected to make it up to 5th. It depends entirely on, do we see Chase Sexton return, and when does he return, and how good does he perform when he comes back? So a lot of variables going into these projections, Weege.
But I actually feel like this next stat you have is even more significant than any of that. This is an all-time stat that just happened right in front of our eyes in Colorado.
Yep, kind of fitting that it happened in Colorado. Eli Tomac is now stood atop the podium in Supercross and Pro Motocross in the Premier class, the most in the history of the sport. He broke a tie with Chad Reed. He's now got, JT, 176 podiums. Absolutely incredible. He's 3rd in the Supercross all-time podium list. He's 2nd in Pro Motocross and now 1st when you combine the two. JT, this has to be one of the better accomplishments or more notable stats, I guess, for Eli Tomac, the ultimate performance and longevity stat.
It is, for a guy who really doesn't need any sort of introduction, this is just such a huge accomplishment. And I'm going to give you a little homework assignment, Clint. You may already have it, but how many races has he been in and how many podiums? Like, what is his percentage chance of landing on the podium? It has to be incredibly high. When you're talking about 176 of them, forget the titles, forget the race wins. When you're talking about a guy who that often, when he lines up, is going to end up holding a trophy, talking to myself or Will Christian or Haley Shanley or somebody up there at the end of the day, this guy is an all-timer in every metric. And at 32 years old, to be this good, we're so lucky to have this guy still around performing at this level.
It almost escaped us a little bit, Clinton, because Tomac's so good. When he doesn't win, we still figure like, oh man, he probably wanted to win. He's so good that even getting second or third still doesn't even seem like that much of accomplishment because he's still a race winning level guy.
Yeah, and he's 32 years old. This isn't like he's at the beginning of his career, what we're typically used to seeing. So the fact that we're 12 years into his career and he's still just expected to be on the podium is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, definitely a legend. And some other math. We generally know that factory bonuses for podiums are like maybe 30 grand for third, 50 grand-ish for second, more than 100 for a win. Do the math on 176. X those numbers, and those podiums have paid out very well. Good info, Clinton. We'll crunch some more data after High Point. Here's how you can watch this weekend. We're back to East Coast time, so it makes it pretty easy. We don't have to do any translating here. Race day live qualifying coverage starts at 10 o'clock Eastern. That's 1 hour of coverage Saturday morning. And then the gates drop for the motos at 1 o'clock. And there'll be 4 straight hours plus halftime in between live and the live SMX Insider post-race show. So that's how you can watch High Point, all live on Peacock or the SMX Video Pass. Go to supermotocross.tv if you're outside the United States to subscribe. JT, as for this show, we're off also because the championship gets a weekend off before Southwick. So we will not have SMX Insider next week. We'll be back the week after that to preview Southwick.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.